Ciao, John Montgomery here from Benson Fiat and Fiat Club America. There's my card right there if you need to reach me for any reason. We're online at bensonfiat.com and bensonalpha.com. Well, today you're looking at a 1.4 multi-air engine. It's basically the engine that goes in the Fiat Pop Sport Lounge. The turbocharged version goes into the Abarth and Abarth Cabrio. This is very typical, but this same engine has pretty much been made since 2012 for here in North America. And one thing that we experience sometimes is some rattles that seem like they're coming from under the hood or front suspension. And you know, a lot of people immediately look at, let's say, the shock towers or something in the suspension. Well, here's a couple of small little things that you can do that are very, very inexpensive and may solve a little rattling problem. One of the most common things that we see at our dealership is cars that come in with this disconnected. Basically, they went somewhere, got an oil change, or you know, some mechanic somewhere is taking this off. This is an AC line bracket to get to the oil filter housing. If you notice, see down there, there's the oil filter housing. It's a 27 millimeter wrench to take, or socket to take that off. And basically it's kind of tight to get that oil filter out. So what people do is they disconnect this line right here, and of course when they don't put it back, it rattles against it. And so the way to put this back, if you notice, see how it's flat on this side? It's got a little clamshell capture, but it's flat on this side and round on this side. Basically what you do is just take the flat side, see the flat side here, and make sure it lines up, push it down in there nice and tight, and then flip the lever over and push it closed. Now, sometimes they're a little tough to close. If they are, you can take a screwdriver and kind of push on this corner just a little bit on each side, and it will pop out the whole plastic assembly here. Then, you know, put it on and then push it down in and let it snap closed on the bracket. So that's the first little rattle. The second one, let me go over to my other car here and I'll show you something that happens that's very common. See this hood closure latch? It's metal on metal right here. See that right there, these two pieces? And so you're driving down the road and you hit a tiny bump and that thing's rattling. There's an easy fix for that. These are all made this way. So basically what you got to do is take a little piece of rubber or some little cap and put it on there. Let me show you what I did to this car. See, that's just like a little rubber cap I put on there and glued it in with some trim adhesive. It doesn't really change the throw of this, you don't want to do that, but it just keeps that metal on metal from hitting. And then also some people will put just a little bit of foam or something back in here, just enough to keep this from rattling against the back of the bracket. So that's the second source of rattling that you can eliminate. Here's the third source, and this is also very common. This is the splash shield on a Fiat 500. It could be any kind of pop sport lounge, any model that you've got, and they use a little heat shield that's on here. This is right where the exhaust comes down, and they use a little star grommet fastener for all these places here to tighten this thing down. Well, over a period of time they get a little bit loose and they'll start to rattle, kind of like tinny rattle. Just drives you nuts. So what you can do is take these little star washers off with a screwdriver, pop them off, take this thing out, clean it up, get the dirt out from underneath it, and spray it with a little, you know, Flex Seal or some kind of rubberized sealer, hopefully a high temperature one, or you could take a little bit of silicone and dab it on underneath here. Put this thing back down, and then go ahead and take your star washers and put them on there, and take a socket over top of it, and so you can push it down and make sure it seats properly, so that way it's nice and tight against the plastic. So anyway, these are the bolts that you use to put the splash shield on, and then that's another source of rattles. There's 6 of them, one in the front, one in the middle, and one in the back on both the left and right hand side. A lot of times cars will come in from you know, a previous oil change where 1, 2, or more bolts are missing, and if they're missing in the middle, like if they, you know, don't have any, they'll just put the ones on the front and the back, and then this whole assembly will rattle when you go down the road. So make sure you got 6 bolts, and that's what it is. It's a 10 millimeter head, and they just screw right in there with a 10 millimeter socket. So anyway, that's 3 big sources of rattles that come in the front end of a Fiat 500, and you can eliminate them all for, you know, probably less than $2 and a little bit of time. So I want to remind you about our Recombi magazine and Fiat Club America. It's fiatclubamerica.com is our website. Fiat Freakout's coming up in July 22nd to 26th in Knoxville, Tennessee. So be sure to register at fiatclubamerica.com. And you can also get a free membership for a year just by going to the website and following the directions. So once again, there's my card if you need me. I hope you have a great week. And if I can ever help, give me a shout. Have a great day. Ciao.